Well, good evening, Bree. How you doing? Can you hear me? Thank you for coming through. Greatly appreciated. How you been? What's up, Daniel? I can't call it, man. I'm trying to get this mic fixed. I think I got it now. Well, how's the family? Everybody doing all right on that end? Yeah. That's good, Daniel. How's your family, Bree? Really appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Welcome to Late Night with Unc. In case you don't know, we didn't read the title. Going to be talking about this lady that works at a hotel, and she cleaned. The maid, and she was cleaning one of the rooms and found a used condom, and she impregnated herself. Turns out that it belonged to a 24-year-old billionaire. What's up, G fam? And yeah, he ended up having to pay child support. I saw this story and I just thought it was really interesting. Give you something to think about, ponder. You know, how do you what do you think about it? Trying to get some different thoughts on it and find out what people think about it. Yeah, well, not necessarily, G. I mean, he's a billionaire. How much child support would he really have to pay? I mean, I don't think he'd go broke. I mean, it's just child support. It'd be different if he was married to and had to pay alimony. Yeah, that would be crazy. Then definitely there goes his money. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I'm trying to imagine, you know, every so often she go back to court and she'd be like, "Hey, I need to I need some more money. Boy's getting big. He's eating more. He needs he needs to get some clothes. And, he's really really smart, and I think he benefit from going to a private school. Oh yeah, private schools, especially now, they ain't cheap. Of course, you want to be able to send him to the best school possible. Shoot. But the crazy thing is that during the how you gonna take someone else's sperm and make it your own? Yeah, that right there, and also the part where she went um during the one of the child support hearings. She admitted that there was never any physical contact between the two of them. Now I'm trying to figure out how she did this. Did she have the old turkey baster, or did she have like how they had the little uh hypodermic needle, the thing without the needle. You know how they give them the little needle thing with when kids got to take medicine. If you got babies, if they ever had to take amoxicillin, and you have to take with that pink medicine, you have to take the little thing and pull it up. It's almost like giving them a shot, and that's how they would measure, the dosage. And whoosh. Yeah, so did she use one of them? Did she lay it turn upside down? I would just be interested in the entire process. Because I mean, you'd have to. I mean, you really have to have some kind of force, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I would really be interested to hear how she did that. She said she did it herself. So I don't know. But people do strange things. Now that right there is a come up. That is a come up. Yeah, choking the turkey. Hey, tell me something. Hey, G, can you all hear like the music in the background? Because if not, then I'll just turn this stuff off. I was trying to do something different. Yeah, but she got a serious come up. All right, hold on. Let me see something. Yeah, I was trying to do something different. I guess that just ain't working. So I guess I got to come up with a plan B. I kind of figured it wasn't working because maybe it's because I got on these headphones, and so yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm going to come up with a different plan here. I guess do it without the headphones, but I'm trying to get used to working with the headphones because I'll be doing the radio show, and so I need to be able to hear myself and hear the music. So, oh well, it was worth a shot. Yeah, I guess I'll try something else. Guess there's some more equipment that I need to have. I know for sure there is going to be some equipment that I'm gonna need in order to play music and talk. So because eventually I'll be going live on the radio station, and I have to be able to turn the mic off and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that works. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get back to talking about this chick with the gigantic come up. Now the kid is, I think he's like 6. No, actually, let's see, he was 4 when they went to court. And I think this like 4 years ago. Yeah, this story's kind of old. I mean, I just happened to see it. You know, scrolling through the internet. You always find weird and crazy, foolish stuff. And I was like, dang, this is interesting. Let's see if anybody got any opinions about it. Uh-oh. Excuse me, y'all. I'll go over here tearing up stuff. Sorry about that. Do right, do right. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Well, hello, Heaven Sent. How are you? Yeah, it's kind of a head scratcher of a story. Yeah, because I was like, when I was reading it, I'm like, you know, and what really piqued my curiosity is the fact that they actually made him pay child support. Although he was not a willing participant. I would like to see or hear the rationale behind that. Making him pay child support. Shoot, I would never want to go in that judge's court again for anything because they make you pay child support and you're not a willing participant. There ain't no telling what kind of other stuff that would happen. I mean, it just seems kind of crazy to me, but you know, I don't know. I've never had to worry about paying child support. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like I said, especially since he was not a willing participant. I mean, it's like it's probably driving him crazy. But I guess at this point, he's 4 years in, and so and then I'd be interested to know how much child support, you know, does he have to pay right now? Because, like I said, the kid is 8, and so But as time goes on, you know, things change. He's gonna need better, more clothes and bigger clothes and nicer clothes and course, he's going to have to eat and probably going to have to pay. He maybe he'll be responsible for medical. Um, well, I don't know how that works. Cause see, like I said, I mean, maybe somebody can help me understand it. Cause like I said, I know with spousal support, it's probably different. But and G fam was like, there goes his money. Well, like I said, if he's just paying, child support, and he's a billionaire, he ain't gonna lose too much money. But if he had married, been married to her and got a divorce, and he ended up having to pay spousal support, then yeah. I read some of the stories about, people having to pay, spousal support and all this stuff. Like with Jeff Bezos, when him and his wife, divorced, had to give her this big lump sum of money, like $100 and some $1 million, I think it was. Like, God, it might have been more than that. I was like, wow. And people's like, man, that's gonna hurt his pockets. But dude is worth billions now. He was just, a multi-millionaire then, probably close to a billionaire now. He's a full-fledged billionaire. So he may have known something was coming down the pike and like, hey, you know what? We're gonna hold off on this until after I get this divorce. I give her this couple of $100 million and we're gonna go ahead and make the next deal as soon as this stuff clears. And now he's a multi-billionaire. I think he's like one of the richest, if not the richest person in the United States. Like, sheesh. And then, of course, he's one of the richest people in the world. But then you have those people over there in Saudi Arabia. They're so rich they don't even know how much money they have over there. That's when you rich. When they can't even count your money. When you got money that you can't count. Like, sheesh. Hey, Bella, how are you? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. How you doing? Yeah, when you got that kind of money that people they just can't even count it. It's like, you walk in the store, you don't even have to ask how much it is. You just pick it up, they wrap it up, and you walk on out the door with it. It's like, sheesh. Yeah, I don't know that I want to be that rich. I am lying if I had that my money was that long. Well, that's good, dear. My money was that long. Yeah, yeah. I saw it. I was perusing the internet, and I was like, "Hey, this is crazy." And I actually, read the story, and I'm like, how do you, it's crazy enough that you know she was cleaning the room, and then she decided, and I think I saw somewhere in the story where she saw he had left one of his bank statements in the room, and she saw that, and that's when she figured out that he was worth all this money. And so then when she found the condom, she was like, I guess she had this brainstorm. But like I said, I would like to know how this procedure went because look, when I was reading the story, she did it herself. So I'm trying to figure out, what exactly did she use? Because there's some physics involved in doing that. So I'm like, shoot. I mean, it's not like you can just take it and put it on your finger, and there's some physicality that is involved in so I'm like, that's crazy because but whatever it was, it worked. And the judge, I mean, and like I said, they found out that there was no contact between the two of them. And Like, sheesh. This is crazy. And they made him. He's now paying child support. And like I said, the kid is about 8, and he's probably growing. So the child support's going to increase. I'm like, man, I don't know. It's just the whole thought process. I would like to have seen it, just how that played out. She's in there cleaning the room, and she finds the condom. She sees the bank statement. She's like, "Ooh." Are you sitting in the chair in the room, and you're like, "Hmm." She had to have had some help with that. That yeah, because like I said, it's not that simple. I mean, I know that much. So but I'm just saying, the whole thing, and she's sitting on the bed saying, I'm gonna impregnate myself, and if it works, I'm gonna go and make it pay child support. And like, what is she doing? The whole time trying to wait to find out if she's pregnant, and then she finds out, and it's like, okay, here we go. And I mean, what are the conversations she's having with people? Like, you know, did she talk about this to somebody, before she did it, or was it like just a spontaneous thing? Like, ooh, that just it's crazy to me, because there had to be some kind of planning. I don't know, but better him than me. Then I guess having to pay child support, and you're a billionaire. Then there's a question of does he, because he wasn't a willing participant, and did he forfeit his parental rights? Or if he didn't, does he get visitation? Is it shared custody? I mean, you know, these are the things that I really want to know. What was his thought process when he gets that knock on the door, that letter in the mail saying, "Hey, there's a paternity case. You need to go down here and get this test done, and yeah, it's going to be a matter of child support." And he's probably like, "Okay, you know what?" He's got these lawyers, and they're like, "Bro, don't worry about it. We got this. There's no way that they can make you pay child support because you weren't a willing participant, and she basically stole your property. Is that considered property? Hmm. How does that work? They like, you had no idea this was going on. Then you're standing in court, and you finally tell the judge, "Hey, Your Honor, there was no physical contact between the two of us. It's like this is what happened, and this is how she did it." And then the judge is like, "Well, okay, I'll take that into consideration, and I'll make my decision shortly." And court's in recess, and they go. He's back there, and they're trying to figure it out. I'm sure there's some laughing going on, because I'm telling you now, if I'm anywhere near that courtroom, and I'm laughing, because I'm trying to figure out how in the heck did they pull this off. And then the judge comes back and say, "Well, you're going to have to pay X amount of dollars for child support until the child reaches the age of 18 or 21, or however it goes." Yeah, I'm trying to imagine the look on his face, like, "What do you mean? I didn't, I had nothing to do with this. Yes, it's my child, but hey, well, yeah, I guess that's how that worked. Whether he was a willing participant or not, yeah, I guess that is truly, you hear the stories about women, tricking dudes into getting them pregnant, and all that stuff. And, I've seen that. You know, like yeah, I'm taking birth control, and I ain't taking nothing. And dudes is like, hey, you sure? And she's like, yeah, I'm sure. Hey, how you doing, ATL shorty? And he's probably like, yeah, I'm taking that. I take my pill on the regular. And next thing you know, uh, you're gonna have to come down to the human. What is that thing? The Department of Human Services, and you got to, or down to the court building because you got to take this DNA test. He's like, what you mean? Yeah, you about to be a daddy, really? And I'm sure that dude was like, what you mean, lady? I don't. First off, he don't even know her. Probably never, because a lot of times when you're traveling or if you're at the hotel, you don't know, you rarely see the who's cleaning the room unless you're in there when they, you're leaving out when they come. It was great. Had a great day. Yeah, you don't know who the cleaning people are, and so he probably had no idea that this was about to his life was about to change. Sometimes you know that a lot of times okay, there's a possibility that something could have happened with somebody, because obviously he was with somebody because they had the condom. She found the condom in the room. Now my question is, what? Whew, I got a whole lot of questions about this because ain't nobody think to throw it. Don't you? Okay, I don't know. Maybe he was just you know I don't know. Maybe he had to leave in a hurry and or didn't think that he didn't get rid of it. He just I don't know. Maybe it was one of them nights and he just got up and he had to go. He had a meeting or whatever or something. But I'm like, that's just crazy. And then it's like, okay, you go about your life. You check out the hotel, go on about your merry way, and now here you get a call like, let's see, maybe a month or two later, and it's like, yeah, we need you to come back to this place, and you need to, you know, there's a paternity suit against you, and now his first thought was probably whoever he was with that night at the hotel, and it's like, oh, okay, and they show up and he finally see who he's looking at the lady like, I don't even know who she is or where she came from, and now they got to explain this in the court that you know I mean, how do you fix your mouth to say, yes, I found this thing in the room, and I just happened to see his bank statement, and or did she mention that part, and she knew he was a billionaire, and hey, you know what, I'm tired of working in this hotel. I'm cleaning these rooms, and I ain't really getting paid no money, and you know stuff just ain't working out, and my rent's due, and I'm trying to buy food, and I'm trying to survive. I don't want to move back with my parents, and or whatever, whatever, whatever. And it's like, oh snap! I mean, that's like hitting the lotto. The lotto. I mean, she hit the lottery. I'm like, shoot, So, but like I said, I don't get the fact that they allowed or made him pay child support, even though he wasn't a willing participant. I get all the DNA and it proves that he did, but and she even admitted that there was no physical contact. She, like I said, she basically stole his stuff. And is that considered theft? Is that property, or is it in the public domain to be used by whoever gets it and whatever they want to do with it? You know, So fellas, don't leave your stuff laying around because you never know who might pick it up. Next thing now you got to explain, to somebody, you know, why you got this baby coming and why you got to go take a DNA test and all this other stuff. That got to be a headache. And just think if he's okay, say he was at the hotel with his wife and for whatever reason they're using protection because whatever, and it's like okay, and they go out or leave the hotel or they check out or whatever it is the situation was, and they're going about their life, and then 2 months later you got this paternity test. Now you got to explain to this woman that you have to go take a paternity test. And she's looking at you like, hey, bruh, what you mean? How could you do this to me? And he just as stuck on stupid as anybody else, because I know I definitely would be stuck on stupid, trying to figure out what the heck happened. How in the world am I going to do I have to go to court and take a DNA test, for this baby? I ain't been with nobody. I ain't done nothing. And then you stand there in court, you got to hear this story about how she took the condom and got us, impregnated herself, and yeah, they're telling you got to pay child support. It's like, that's probably a big pill to swallow. So the moral of the story is, make sure that you uh, throw away your stuff, and make sure you clean up behind yourself. Because if it can happen to him, it could probably happen to somebody else. And don't be leaving your bank statements laying around. Not at the hotel. I mean, that can happen at home. You leave your paperwork laying around because it's your house. Just stuff laying all around willy nilly. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm confused. But that's not unusual. It don't take much to confuse me nowadays. I don't know. But like I said, I don't get it. I don't know. But thank you everybody for coming through. I appreciate everybody that has been in and out. ATL Shorty, Brown Girl Bella, G Fam, Bree was here, Daniel was here. I appreciate y'all. This is something new that I'm trying. The late night thing. I came on last night at about 11 o'clock, and so I got off. It stayed on for about an hour, and I don't know. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. Like I was talking about last night. This was the deal when I was trying to get my watch hours. I was a YouTube rookie, and you know how we used to have the silent lives, and mine was on here late night. My little crew would come in, and we sit and laugh, and I'd be just ignorant all over the place, and having fun. And then all of a sudden, it would end up being a silent stream. Yeah, those were those days. Now and I've been kind of inconsistent. So I'll be here every Friday night and Saturday night at 10 o'clock. And also there's my radio show that I do Sunday through Thursday from 10 o'clock to 2 a.m. And one-on-one with Unc on Tuesdays at 7. So going to be a little busy, and there'll probably be intermittent lives here and there. I'm trying to come up with um, some video concepts. Trying to get out of my comfort zone. You know, still do the motivational and inspirational, but try to figure out some other stuff to do that doesn't involve food, because I refuse to become a mukbanger. I can't do it. I really can't. I was doing pretty good. I was eating kind of good. I'd lost some pounds. I was walking and stretching, and I think in my old age, the body doesn't do can't do some of the things that it used to, and unless you've been doing it, consistently, your body's used to it. Well, I came up lame. I mean, my head, I don't know what the heck happened. I was having muscle spasms in my left glute area, and I mean, it was the absolute worst. I mean, it was painful. The first night that it happened, I was good all that day, and then I was sitting in the chair, and I went to get up out the chair, and all of a sudden, this sharp pain, and it just kept coming. Man, I wanted to cry so bad, and I'm usually not one that complains about stuff, but I was ready to go to the doctor, to the hospital, but I was like, you know what, I'm a fight it. So I haven't been walking. It's been about a week maybe, and but I need to get back, into walking. I need to change my diet. I've been just sitting around, just been eating and doing. I haven't really been moving around. I mean, I been moving around, but not the way I need to be moving around. So auntie's like, maybe because I try to walk every day, if not every day, at least 6 days out of the week. About an hour and a half. Well, it's usually about an hour, between an hour and a half every morning. I get up and walk. Auntie's like, well, maybe you're just walking too much, but I really think that it was that all that stretching I was doing, because I call myself close to doing yoga. Now I don't know what I was thinking, doing that, because my body, it was fine, and then that it was fine until it wasn't. So I'm probably going to ease up on the stretching, and just do some basic stretches. I was out there. I would get up every morning. And I'd be out on the balcony just twisting and turning, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't be doing this right now. Because I'm trying to make sure that when I start chapter 60 in March, that I'm gonna be ready. We're going to Atlanta for the Trey and Nene meet and greet, and the daughter Cutie Chewy is supposed to be doing something for me, for my birthday. The big 60, and so I want to be ready for that. So I need to get back in the swing of things. Walking and some semblance of exercise, and I really need to stop eating this foolish food that I've been eating. So I won't be doing any mukbangs. Unless you see me sitting eating a salad or some other kind of rabbit food, because you know I was trending in the right direction. And then I got on the scale the other day, and I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen this number before, and it's not the direction that I want to go in, because it's taking me back to where I was. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get myself together. Um, Hopefully, again, it's getting cold. Although that really doesn't bother me, because once I'm moving, I'm good. It's not like bitter cold. It's that fall kind of weather. So maybe once it starts to get really cold, there's stuff. I'm sure I can find something on YouTube, because we used to exercise to this lady called Leslie Sansoon, and we exercise to her and do that. We the simulated walk. So maybe once it gets bitterly cold, I can do that. Because I have to make sure that I'm right, because as I tell anybody, I'm getting closer to the end of this road than I am at the beginning, and so and I understand that I have embraced the fact that I will be 60 in March, and I am quite proud of it. To be quite honest, my mother used to tell me all the time, "Keep on living." So I'm gonna keep on living till I ain't living. And I'm enjoying. I'm gonna enjoy the ride, and you know, have fun, and do some of the things that I want to do. Like I said, I'm you know I'm involved with this radio show, Late Night with Unc, and I like to call it the sexiest nighttime show on radio. My goal is to have the number one nighttime radio show in the land. That's what I want to do. That is one of my goals for that. Because I've always wanted to do radio. I just never looked into it or took the initiative to do it. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I'm like, shoot, I have no idea what I'm doing. Right now we just do voice tracks. So all I have to do is, record voice tracks, and I've learned how to upload them and all that stuff. So, I'm enjoying, I really enjoy it because it is, I play old school R&B slow jams, and that's my thing. I have loved slow jams since I was maybe like 10 or 11, before I even knew what love songs and girlfriends and all that stuff. That was, I've always liked music, but that is my go-to. That's my ish. So I really enjoy it, and they're trying to get it together. I think the goal is to be up and running, um by the beginning of the year. That's the plan. So, and at some point we're going to go live. All righty, I'll do that. Matter of fact, I can drop it now. I'm on. Let's see. The show is Sunday through Thursday from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. These computers sometimes can be a pain in the butt. And that's the link right there. When you get a chance, like I said, I'm on Sunday through Thursday from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And it's old school R&B slow jams. Generally, it's music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now there's some 2000s in there, but this music nowadays, they don't make you know R&B slow jams like they used to. I mean, they just don't. The music's different. The feel is different. So that I like to call it the playlist of my life. You know, that's what I've listened to since, like I said, I was about 11, 10, 11. Listening to slow songs, and not and understanding what they meant, the story or nothing. I just liked the music, and then when they came up with the Quiet Storm, I was like, shoo. Now I'm a teenager, and I'm like, okay, now I had a different understanding, but the foundation was already there for the music. And I remember I would sit and act like I was a DJ, and you know, I'm still acting like I'm a DJ. So it's fun, and I'm looking forward to growing with the station. Like I said, my goal is to have the number one show, and right now my competition is I'll Be Sure. Yeah, picture that. He's on the radio. I'm just on an internet station, but he we're still on the same night, so that's my competition. But no, I'm not in competition with anybody. I listen to him, and learn, and I try to find other stations that have the Quiet Storm format, just to learn, because in order to progress and in order to get better, I have to find the people that are doing what I'm doing, and learn from them, and don't be afraid to ask questions, and even other people that do radio, just you know get whatever information I can get, you know trying to learn how to get better at doing interviews, because I've got the one-on-one with Unc, and that's on Tuesday. Although it won't be on this Tuesday coming, because it's the Thanksgiving week, and everybody's out and about. Will be trying to travel and make plans and spend time with family. So I'll probably have two shows in December. The first one will be the first Tuesday. It'll be, I guess, maybe the first and second Tuesdays in December, and then I'll just hold off and start working toward planning to get people to come on after the new year. And so that's what I'll be working on. That's my thing, and I'll be looking to learn how to get sponsors. Hey, Bay TV, how you doing? Trying to get sponsors, and you know advertisers, and it's a lot that go. And in all honesty, it's kind of like what you have to do for YouTube. You got to put in the time and the work, and learn how to do a lot of stuff. So it's more than just. I used to think it was just you sit behind the microphone and play the records, and that's it. But it is way more than that, and especially since it's not like I'll be working for this. Like if radio, it's not like I'll be working for Radio One. So Kathy Hughes, Miss Kathy Hughes she's the boss. One of those kind of stations. So it's like an internet station that's small, and so you got like 5 or 6 different genres of music. You got the urban, and you got your pop, and there's country station. There's going to be they're working on getting a sports, you know, channel. And I'm like, ah, okay. Yeah, I remember her when I was a little kid, and when she first started, and she was living in the radio station, the first radio station that she owned. She actually lived in the building because there were some issues, financial issues. When you first start a business, there's a chance that you lose everything, and everything could go wrong. But she was able to persevere, and she went from living in the radio station to buying it, and in the building, and buying it and buying other stations. Now she is like, I think I saw something where she is the second richest woman in the United States. Now I'm wondering if that's behind Oprah or is that in front of Oprah? Because if she's in front of Oprah, that means she. Because see, Oprah. There's the thing, Oprah money. You got yeah. So yeah, but she is an amazing, amazing lady. So yeah, we got about 10 more minutes. I figure I'm gonna, you know, start doing it. Start with doing it an hour, and if it blossoms into something else, then that's great. But for now, I'll just go from 10 to 11. Just to get my feet wet and try to get back used to doing this. It was fun when I was doing the DJ thing until YouTube was like, we don't want you playing that music. I'm like, okay, and I was playing it, and they was telling me to stop, and I'd keep playing it till one time they shut it off, and then they sent me an email with a warning. They said if I play music again, I'm going to get a copyright strike. And not only that, they're going to shut me down for 7 days. And I got to thinking, I really don't want to do that. You know, I don't want that. You know, I didn't want that smoke, not from YouTube. I was like, well, if you don't want me to play music, then I just won't play it. But like I said, I am, getting back into the swing of things, and you know, hope you all come out and spend some time with me and listen to me ramble about stuff. But like I said, I thought that subject this earlier we were talking about earlier about I'm still trying to wrap my head around this chick standing in the court building or in the courtroom telling them that there was no physical contact, and the judge, telling this guy that he's got to pay child support for a baby that he knew nothing about, to a woman he had no idea who she was. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like I said, if he was, if he's married and he's with his wife, and they do the do, and this lady, talking about she having the baby, now you got to explain this. That part, I don't know. They didn't give the logistics of all of that, and also how did she impregnate herself? Because like I said, there's some physics, some very, very heavy physics that go into that, you know, so what did she use? That's well, just live, love, laugh, locked. Well, how are you? Yeah, I know that. I know that part. But the whole thing was they said that she did it herself. She found the condom in the room and impregnated herself. I just want to know. I don't know. That was my thought. And but and I'm like, the guy did it, and now he goes 2 months down the road, he gets this letter or this call, or somebody says, you need to come take a paternity test. And I don't know. I mean, she just took is it stealing his stuff? Is it, like I said, is it just public property? Was it become public property once once you're done with it? I, I don't know. I just think that to me, it's almost like an invasion of privacy, but I guess not. Uh, if he just left it laying around, then but I just want to know how she did it herself. That's all I want to know. Yeah, they did a test. He's paying child support. This was like 4 years ago. When he found out, by the time the baby, the kid was 4, so that was 4 years ago. So now the kid is like 8, and he's paying child support. I get all of that, but I've just got some questions about certain things, like how did she do this? How do you impregnate yourself? I mean, you got a machine at the house. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. And the fact that he left a bank statement laying around. So I guess if he was broke, then she wouldn't have done it. I guess. But she's like, "Ooh, this dude got money." Okay, fine. I mean, I just thought it was just some physics thing. I mean, don't you got to reach a certain point, or you just okay? Well, fine. Yeah, we've solved that mystery. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so she just laid on the bed and put the condom in there and did it herself. Cool. So, well, like I said, I guess if he was broke, then it never would have happened. Wow. Now I really didn't know that. Not that I needed to know that, but okay. Like I said, like my mom used to tell me, you learn something new every day, bruh. I mean, I know they swim, but damn, I didn't know they could swim like that. No, I never really had any need to know all that stuff. But okay. Thank you for that lesson. Just live, love, appreciate it. I definitely don't doubt you. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Like I said, if the if the bank statement wasn't there, you know, I guess she probably wouldn't have done it. But she found out he was a billionaire. She figured she hit the jackpot if it worked, and it worked. So again, fellas, make sure that you dispose of your things. Excuse me. Make sure you and don't just throw it in the trash where it's visible. Wrap it up or something. You know, I wouldn't suggest. You know, maybe wrap it up in toilet paper and flush it. But don't just be laying it and letting it lay around because obviously there are and or if you do so, leave your bank statement to show that you broke, and then you don't have to worry about it. 'Cause I can almost guarantee you, if his bank statement looked like my bank statement, he wouldn't have been in court for no paternity tests. That's for doggone sure. She would have had no interest at all. Like, nope, not this one. Then the conversation would have been really different. He'd have been like, "That's a nasty. These some nasty people that come in here." But he wasn't really nasty when she saw that bank statement and shoot all them zeros. Like, oh yeah, this is better than going down to the 7-Eleven and buying scratch tickets or playing the Mega Millions. Shoot, I guess what does she have to lose? Now, my next question is, she did that. Now, that's sort of like playing Russian roulette because say there's some communicable disease that's involved. Why would he even take a bank statement? No, he was at her house. He was at the hotel. He was in a hotel, and she was the maid that was cleaning the hotel. No, it wasn't. No, he didn't know who this lady was. He wasn't even with her. She found the condom in wherever she found it, somewhere she was cleaning the hotel room and found the condom. And he must have left the bank statement, laying around or something, or maybe he left some paperwork, on the desk because he was coming back or whatever the case may be. And she saw all this information and then saw her opportunity. But to me, that's a big risk because yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, now it's totally he had no idea who this lady was. And that's why I say, now say he was at the hotel with his wife and for whatever reason they needed to use protection. And, you know, and he's got to explain to her why he's getting this letter or this phone call. His lawyers is telling him he need to show up in court to take a DNA test. Now he's got to explain this whole thing to this crazy lady that's looking at him, and she's probably thinking, okay, well, he gonna have to pay child support, and he gonna have to pay some alimony. So, dude, if he was married, it's like, oh my goodness, the child support I can handle is this alimony thing, especially if she was there from the beginning. So she's entitled to much more than if there's no prenup. They was broke when they got together and they built this thing together. And now here comes the maid at the hotel that found the condom in the trash can and decided, hey, this is gonna be a come up of epic proportion. And there she goes, off on her little mission. And did she tell anybody what she did? Because women talk. Did she'd call a girlfriend, girl, let me tell you what just happened to me. I was in room 429 and I found this condom and the man's bank statement, and I'm about to be pregnant. And he gonna have to pay child support. I'm gonna get all this money. I ain't gonna have to come in this raggedy ass hotel no more. There is or should be a law about this. He never slept with her and didn't even know her. OMG. Well, I mean, I don't know, because is it different because he didn't know her, that it wasn't at the house and she was a jump off. Okay, say she's a jump off and she found it and did that. I mean, does that, I don't know. I mean, I guess it works a little different if there was actual physical contact. But with this, there was no physical contact. She admitted it in court that there was no physical contact, and the judge ruled in her favor. So, fast forward 4 years, and the little boy is 8. He's paying child support, and then I don't assume that it's going to get any cheaper. Because the boy is growing. He's going to need certain things. And of course, you're going to want him to go to the best school possible. Question now, did he give up his parental rights, or is there some kind of way that they have joint custody? I mean, how does that work? I mean, how do you go from, you know, not having kids and not knowing it, not planning to, not even, you know, thinking about having kids, and this happens. So now you got this kid, and you got to take care of him. You got to be responsible for him, and you don't want to resent the child. I would have just liked to have seen the expression on his face when he got to court, and so who, you know, because even who is this lady, and say he was single, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's probably going to the court thinking that Oh, thank you, Daniel. He's probably going to the court building thinking, it was whoever he was with that, showed up, popped up, telling us she was pregnant, not knowing that it was the maid that the cleaning lady. I don't want to call her a maid, but that's what she is. Trying to be politically correct, but that's what she was, or well, she definitely was. I guarantee you, she ain't working there no more. So yeah, you walk in the court building and you sitting, he's probably sitting there and the lady sitting across from him. He have no idea who she is. Then they go into court and she's standing there saying blah 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 blah, and this is what happened, and this is what happened, and you know, and the judge, I'm like, I mean, was he? I mean, that right there is what I don't get. I know that they do the DNA and he is the father and all that stuff, but I mean, there's it's got to be something that says or something that I don't understand. I really don't, and I guess maybe I should do some research. If, see if I can find an attorney that is in that specializes in that, and you know see what kind of information I can get and come back and let you all know what I found out. But that's just crazy to me. That is absolutely nuts. They, well, like I said, you got to explain this. If he's married, he's got to explain it, and if he's not married, you got to go. It's even crazy when you're married or you're with someone and they're pregnant, they get pregnant, and you're like, okay, okay, okay. But to have it come out of left field, like I mean that was way beyond left field. I think that came from like space. It's got to hit like a two tons of bricks. Like that's a life changing event that you had no idea. It's one thing if it was the lady that he was with, but this is somebody totally different. This is like one of them adjacent moves. Like she was there, but she wasn't there. It's like she was in the vicinity. Like sheesh. You know, I don't know. That's one for somebody else to figure out. Like I said, the kid's 8 now. He'll be paying child support for the next. I guess depending on where you live and how long he'll be paying child support. Yeah, but how do you? I mean, okay, all right, all right. Let's go with that. And you're drawing up this, it all sounds crazy because you're drawing up this paperwork and for the lawsuit and the charges or whatever, and like what did she steal? They stole. mm, ah, I guess. I don't know. But it just seems crazy to me. I mean, super super crazy. But that's life, and that's his life and her life and that kid, and like I said, she got to come up of epic proportion. And I guess when she found out she was pregnant, she probably told the girl, "Say, hey, I ain't never come back that junk no more. I'm done." She probably didn't even put in a 2 week notice or nothing. Like, I'm out. Like, okay then. That's the way you want it. But she quit and started some business of her own with 2 million she got for the first few years of the child's life. Wow. Mm-mm. Yeah, well, see, told you. A come up of epic proportions. So let that be a lesson, fellas. Throw them kids in the trash if you ain't gonna use them. Throw them away. I really can't get too detailed because my granddaughter is in the room. So anyway, yeah, make sure you throw that stuff in the trash. Flush it, don't throw in the trash. Wrap it in toilet paper and flush it. You never know. Never know. Obviously, there's some very resourceful people, and she has acquired her. I wouldn't even say she acquired a skill because it didn't take no skill. She got lucky, and it just everything lined up. She would definitely be sued because she definitely violated him. That seems like rape. Plus, she went through his. Okay, now wait a minute. How old is? Yeah, well, yeah, she did violate him. But once again, if it's just laying there, and her responsibility is to, she couldn't just leave it laying there. I mean, is it really stealing? I mean, he just left it there. It's not like she went in the room and she wasn't supposed to be in the room. That was her job. Go in the room and clean up the mess. I don't think that was the type of mess she was looking for. Maybe she didn't go through his stuff. Maybe it was just laying there. I mean, when you clean in the room, you have to straighten stuff up, and maybe it was just laying there. She's inquisitive. Now I'm playing devil's advocate now. I done flipped and went on her side. She's in there, she's cleaning the room, and she sees this thing on the floor, and it's like, oh, that's just nasty. And then she's, straightening up the desk and like, whoa, that dude got some bank. And then it clicks. Hmm. I wonder if this'll work. I'm trying to tell you. There's an old saying, you throw shit up on the wall and see if it stick. Well, it stuck. It really stuck. So now he's 8. This was like 4 years ago. Like, so I mean, is it, if she was doing her job, and it is incumbent upon him to make sure that he, and I'm quite sure that, under no, I mean, that would probably be the last thing that you think that's going to happen. You know, who's thinking that somebody's going to pick it up and go through all this? But let that be a lesson, fellas. And, well, ladies too. If you see it laying there, get rid of it, or tell him to get rid of it. Because if that's your dude, you don't want no foolishness. Yeah, but he didn't. She didn't steal it. They wasn't at the sperm bank. They was at the I don't know, some high class, hotel where billionaires stay. I'm sure it wasn't at your local Holiday Inn or the Red Roof Inn. They don't stay there. Yeah, he does have money, but who's to say that? I don't know. But still, okay. Now he goes through all that, but he's still now he has to keep the kid. Put the kid up for adoption. At some point you have to say, okay, you know what, is you know is this really really worth it? Do I want to snatch this kid from his mother and get what? What is he getting? What is really what is he really getting? He's going to sue her for what? Uh, you take all the money. It's still your child. You still got to take care of it. Now, are you ready to be a full time dad? Is that what you're ready for? Because some things sometimes, to me, some things are just sometimes you have to just say, okay, you know what? You, know, you look at the big picture and see where this is going to lead. So I don't know. You sue her or you send her to jail. Now you got to take care of the kid. You know, it's your kid. I understand that. I understand that very well. But my question now becomes, how far do you really want to go? Because, okay, yeah, he paid for the room, but she was responsible for cleaning the room. I get that part. She cleaned it up, but she really cleaned it up. But my question becomes, even with all that, okay, he goes to court and he sues her. What is he suing her for? What is he trying to get? Does he want to press charges for her to go to jail? Okay, cool. But is he ready to become a full time dad? Does his schedule provide for him to be a full time dad, or is he just gonna get the kid and put him in boarding school and never be around him? I mean, really. I mean, in all fairness, how far do you really want to take it? I mean, because you can. Hmm. Okay, yeah, well, it was 2019, but the kid was 4 by the time they did all that. So yeah, he's about 6, going on 7. My question now, we've got all that, and we've determined, you know, all of that stuff. So now, how far do you want to go? Do you? I mean, do you want to go all the way with it? Do you want her to go to jail? Because once again, now you have to become a full time dad, and does your schedule? I mean, really, because you have to take that into consideration, or do you just say, you know what, chop it off as a loss, and I'll do my part, and make sure that this kid grows up and becomes a productive citizen, or does he become a statistic? Do you just say, you know what? I don't even care. She going to jail, and the little boy going to foster care. I don't want him. I can't do nothing with him. I ain't got time. You know. At some point, you have to have some. If you don't have any compassion, and that's how you want to deal with it. Cool. I mean, that's your prerogative. Because yeah, she did kind of jack you up and put you in this situation that you had no control over. And I understand that. You very well have the right to say, hey, I want to punish her to the fullest extent of the law. Whatever it takes, whatever you have to do, if she has to pay money back or if she has to do time in jail. Yeah, but okay, yeah, he'll have a trust, but sometimes to me it's not always about money because who's going to guide this child? Who's going to teach him? Who's going to, because at some point he's going to become a man. And so does he want for the his first image of the first man that he's supposed to be, to model himself after, to be this dude that put his mama in jail and sent him off to foster care? Oh, you're going to have money when you get grown, but who's going to teach him how to take care of that money? Who's going to teach him how to take care of himself? Who's going to teach him how to be respectful? Do you really want somebody else teaching your child that? I know for me, nah, I want nobody else raising my kids. Them is mine. There's no long-term child support yet. Yeah, okay, but my whole point is how no, they probably watching the fight. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, I get all of that, Jess. Yeah, she stole his property and all of that. But my question now becomes, how far do you want to take it? Like I said, yeah, he'll put the money aside for the kid to have a trust, but say, does he really want to press it so that she ends up going to jail? And he's not in a position where he can be a full time dad, and so now you just going to ship him off to boarding school or put the responsibility of your child in somebody else's hands. That's my question. He yeah, you got a little boy that's going to grow up to be a man. Who do you want to teach him how to be a man? The system or you? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. How how you want to carry it. What does this child really mean to you? If he means nothing, then fine. If all he is somewhere for you to dump your money and put money aside for him, yeah, okay, that's cool. But by the time he gets old enough to get this money, what will his mindset be? What values will he have? Will he just get the money and just blow it? Will he become a dope fiend? I mean, these are things that I think that would need to be thought about. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're angry at this lady for doing this, but there's a child. Okay, how is the child going to have a great life if he's not? That's what I'm saying. If he's not prepared or he's not he's not prepared to be a full time dad. So now you're going to send this kid off into the Netherlands, to wherever they send these kids, because the mama's in jail and the daddy don't want it. That's a hell of a way to start a life. It really is. You're starting your life here. Okay, he's 6. By the time they work through all this stuff, say he's 8, 9. He's got to see his mother go off to jail. And they tell him that your daddy don't want you. He got this money set aside for you, but he don't want you. He don't want to have nothing to do with you. So now you got this 9-year-old kid, his first impression of the man that's supposed to teach him about life and how to be a man and how to be responsible and all this stuff. He don't want him. And he sent his mama off to jail. Oh, but he's going to have a great life. He'll have plenty of money when he gets old enough. But by the time he get there, his head will probably be so messed up. That money will probably be used for therapy if he decides he wants to get therapy. If he don't just, end up being some wayward kid. Who's to say that, you know, he'll grow up to get to the money because he can't get it. Maybe they'll set aside so you can't get it till you're 21. By the time he's 16, he's in and out of jail. He's a juvenile delinquent, in and out of jail. The money ain't gonna mean nothing to him. And maybe they'll be like, dude, what are you doing? You got this money waiting for you. He'll clean himself up long enough to get the money, blow it. He got all kind of issues going on. His mama's in jail. His daddy don't want him. Oh, but I got this money. Trying to tell you, money is not always the answer. Money is not always the solution. It just ain't. Now, yeah, do we need money? Yeah, hell yeah. Is it good to have? Yeah. Is it a necessity? Yeah. But if you don't know what to do with it, and ain't nobody never taught you what to do with it, or nobody's taught you anything about life skills, it don't matter how much money you got. If you have no life skills and no way of knowing how to do anything with it, what good is it to have it? So yeah, okay, he proved his point. I'm gonna sue her and send her ass right to jail. Well, Mr. Higginbotham, what are you gonna do about this child? Shit, I'm giving up my parental rights. I don't want him. I don't have time to raise no child. I'll put some money aside for him so when he get 21, he get this money. But other than that, he on his own. I don't know. But he's 9. I can't do nothing. I've signed off my parental rights. I've washed my hands of this child except for this money. Now this kid's 9 years old, going on 10, trying to figure out stuff. It's hard enough trying to figure out, maneuver life and navigate. Now you become a teenager and you trying to navigate, but you got all this other stuff in your head, on your mind, on your plate. My mama's in jail. My daddy didn't. Those are the two things that will be in the forefront of his brain. My daddy sent my mama to jail, and he don't want me. What's wrong with me? Why he don't want me? What did I do? But he left you some money. What that mean? A 10-year-old, 11-year-old have no concept of money. Well, nowadays they figure it can buy them games. Yeah, maybe she was greedy, but work something out. She need to be able to take care of that child. If he not, you gonna put that child on the government or somebody else? You got to work something out. You got to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, yeah, you got me. This is probably true. Probably true. I get that. But not every child is going to be lucky enough to have somebody that cares enough about them. Okay, here's what, and I can almost tell you what would probably happen. He gets foster parents, and they know about this money. Maybe she does. But at this point now, my concern is the child. You know, what if she's lived an exemplary life up until that point? Does that not matter? I mean, I'm just saying. We all make mistakes. Some bigger than others. What if she says, I don't want the money. I just want him to take care of the child? What do you mean she don't love the child? Maybe that's all she ever wanted was a baby. Just so happens that she went a very completely unconventional way to have it. I would imagine that when a woman carries a child that long, they develop a bond, and some depending on the person, maybe she loves this baby. Maybe it started off as a come up, but she's got this baby that she loves, and she says, "Hey, I don't care about the money. I just want him to provide for the child. He don't have to give me a dime. Just take care of the child." That much is true too. And maybe the money was there, but at what cost? I'm just saying. If she says, "Hey, you know what? I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Here, take this money, but just please, just take care of the child." Does I mean, sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, and you realize that you've bitten off more than you can chew, and you're like, "Hey, you know what? That wasn't a good idea, and I'm sorry, and I'll go back to you know working at the hotel. I just need you to take care of this baby. And you don't have to put the money, you could put the money, do whatever you need to do." All right, my dear. I thank you so much. It has been a blast. I think you're the last one. So when you leave out, I guess I'll lock the door behind you. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank everybody for coming in tonight. And I will see you all hmm, next Friday at 10 o'clock for more Late Night with Unc. Until then, remember to be happy on purpose and know that I believe in you, believe in you too. Peace. All right, G. I holla.